Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I have finished up 3 of these lovely quilted cover Commonplace books that I've been working on for quite some time. I'm going to do a separate flip through video for all 3 of them, but I just wanted to show them to you together because they look so nice together. They're just friends and it's cute. So let's start with the first one. I'll move these guys aside. Off to the side. There we go. Okay. So I have to give these guys names yet. So I'm just going to call this one Olive for now because that's the color of the buckle. So these all have buckle closures. Quite a while ago now, a little bit ago, in a thrift haul, I got a bunch of really cute vintage buckles and I wanted to use them as journal closures. So that's what I did with this one. So this is buckled. You really don't even have to take it off to slide it off. You can slip this right through and unbuckle it, but you don't have to. So the closure for this one is fun. This has like a kind of a, like leaves and bugs and specimens kind of themed closure belt. So we'll take that off and then get a look at what the quilted part looks like. So these are all 4 signature journals. They're chunky, they're stuffed with ephemera. This is what the cover looks like here. So I've done some fun leafy stitching on here. This is all made from fun like vintage fabrics and stuff. So yeah, lots and lots of fun with this style lately. I've really been enjoying it. So now if we go back to the front, we'll just kind of recombobulate this again so I can show you how you would put it together. So this is what the journal will be like. Here are the visible signatures, all 4 of them there, and then you'll open this on up and here is your journal. So I've stitched on this vintage coffee dyed lacy crochet doily on both sides here. So on this side we have a little pocket that has this little folio inside, just a cute little simple fun little folio with one of my little creatures here. Then we get into the journal itself. So we start with this little tip up. This is I've kind of split up my June journal together kit that I do for Patreon throughout these 3 books. So this one had all these specimens of leaves and maple seeds and acorns, and this little pocket is also from my kit, and then this is a little Release the Craft and tag that goes in that upper tuck pocket there. Then underneath we have some really fun scrapbook paper, and this is a little original 1950s photograph, and I have put a hand-painted maple seed inside. It's sort of gold and purple and it's laminated inside there. And then this is another image from my kit, and it's a little journal card that pops in here. Then we have a little bow here. That's actually from Shabby Dabby Doodah. Some cabbage dyed paper, and this is just a pretty piece of paper. Lots of pretty papers in here, and the way that I handled the kind of white back pages with spraying and spritzing and some collage, so you'll see lots of this kind of thing. This is a wraparound pocket here with this little town, and this is a jelly print that I scanned for my kit. This is from a children's book. It's this cute little image of this little Thumbelina type person sitting on a lily pad, and there's little fish here and flowers, and I've stitched some gold trim lace on top of the tag. And then over here, a couple fun things. So this is from a vintage yearbook, and it has a gold eyelet there, so it's like a little journal tag. And this says, "Surround yourself with tacos, not negativity." And this was a collage using UPC symbols that I did a while back. Some hand-dyed paper. In all of these books, I think, there are some beautiful pages from this vintage field guide of flowers. Some children's writing paper. This was from an old doll book, and it's about how the innards of like a doll head are put together. This is an image from my latest kit. And then we have these little doll head buttons, this little glued down piece of ephemera. This is a fun cluster that I made as a tuck spot for this journal card that says Hide and Seek. Has this little vintage image inside of a Tim Holtz frame with a little leaf there. Little butterfly. This is some hand-dyed paper. This is music tablature that's been cabbage dyed. This is a little technique that I made with the bottom of a baggie, and it says, "Beautiful meadow, a bright yellow dandelion." And you open it on up, and we have a journal card, but we also have a little kitty cat castle area here hanging out in there. But then this is an old trade card for J.D. Hamilton Druggist, and that was another image that I used from my kit for June. This is some vintage paper from this really cool book that I got from like the 80s on, I think it was like a trade catalog of papers, and it's got all these wild flowers of these little chicks. This is a journal card from my latest kit. A belly band here that says, "Delight to please others, to take great pleasure from something." And this is a collaged journal card. And on back it says The Gardener's Album. A little label here. More of that vintage paper, and this tuck spot here of this lovely lady, and some pretty flowers. Big journal card that just tucks on in there. More of the cabbage dyed music tablature and sprayed papers. This is a frog would go a wooing Caldecott picture book image from my kit. It's from an old vintage book, and it's a little tuck spot for this collaged and painted journal card with this lovely bird. It says, "I'll not repine through fate, though fate shut out the gaudy world's tumultuous din. He seeks not of the world without, who calm enjoys the world within." And the other side of that doll page, more children's writing paper and the vintage field guidebook. More dyed paper and a little calendar down here on sprayed paper. And then over here we have kind of a double book page pocket. So inside the first pocket here we have this little Dixon's American Graphite Pencils journal card. This is from my kit. So are these images that I've added to this pocket. It is on my paper, and this is some of my washi tape all from my kit. This is a collage tag with a dodo and a key and some of my hand-dyed avocado parchment. It's just got lots of stuff going on. A little label there, fabric, and a Dale Carnegie quote. "One of the most tragic things I know about human nature is that all of us tend to put off living. We dream of some magical rose garden over the horizon, instead of enjoying the roses that are blooming outside our window today." And then some little flowers there on sprayed paper, some floral and cabbage dyed papers, more spring and this little leaf. This is from a vintage children's book, these little frogs, and this is a postcard that I made from a magazine image. Added some Canadian stamps back there. Another children's book pocket, and this is one of my glove box journal cards. It has this little acetate window with this little mushroom girl inside and some fun collaging. And I just love this longhorn cow, so he's there. And this was another pretty kit that I used. I think it's from Very Pear on Etsy. I just really love these images. This is some old craft paper. This is a tuck spot that's been collaged on some vintage wallpaper digital. And this is a large journal card with this lovely decoy duck that's been collaged. Dyed paper and field guide. More dyed paper. This is a little dish ran away with the spoon kind of image from a very old fairy tale book. This is more of that paper from the paper catalog from the 80s. And this is a lovely little Thumbelina image from a vintage children's book, and I've stitched some coffee dyed lace. This is a snippet roll belly band here, and this is a tag that I made with a little window envelope from an envelope, and then did some collaging and rub-on fabric stitched on top. cabbage dyed paper. This is some fun stationery. This little kind of garden coffee and tea pocket with this little fox image from my latest kit. That just tucks in there. A little label here and a little orchid advertisement for a floral perfume. This is a little paper sack, and I've added one of my curious creatures from my shop. It says, when the sun rose, clear the sky of clouds, bouncing up and down. And it's got some jelly print behind it. And this is a tag that I made from a video I made recently on how to image transfer napkins onto paper using plastic wrap. The other side of that, fun stationery, cabbage dyed paper. This is a little fun glue down from a needlework book. This is more of that vintage paper from the paper catalog. This is a little fold out tag that's been collaged. Some hand dyed paper and field guide. More hand dyed paper and a little tuck spot for this little button card, journal card. More craft paper. And some lined paper. This is a little bitty folio that just paper clips on here. So this side of the page has been sprayed with the outline, and then this side of the paper has drips of blue and purple. So this little folio has a tuck spot on this side. These images and this image are all from my June Patreon kit, as is this and this little wombat. This is from a bird book, and then a little label there from Tim Holtz, and you open it on up, and inside there's a jelly print that you can write on. And that just attaches with a little rusted paper clip. This is a glassine envelope with a little rose there, and then it flips out, and inside we have this little trade card for J.D. Hamilton Druggist. There are 2 of these in this book. They're both different. This is a little vintage children's book page tuck spot, and I just love the little Chinese lantern. It's on some pretty floral digital paper that I've dyed. And this is one of my postcards that are laminated with plants inside, and one of my little curious creatures, and there's writing space on the back. Cabbage dyed. This is some lined paper. This is one of my what I call audience cards, and I think this is actually Gilda Radner. I used a lot of old Hollywood books and made these fun little cards, so you have writing space front and back, and they're just like a little audience for you while you're journaling. And it's on some floral paper with an old blue Mother Goose image of this kind of witchy woman feeding a cow and a cat, and there's some lace down here. And then another spritzed and sprayed page with a little playing card. Another of the field guide pages, dyed paper. And this is a children's book image that I've just paper clipped on. So it's this lovely image and writing space on back, and it just clips on here to this paper. And then some more hand dyed paper. This is more of that paper from the vintage paper catalog, and some children's writing paper. This is a multi-pocket little book page piece. So the maple seeds and this image are both from my June Journal Together kit. I've done some other collaging here. So this is a little tuck spot. And then in here, back here, we have another butterfly and some stamps and collaging. And then this image is for the Ellie's Cream Balm for Catarrh, the Positive Cure. This is an old advertisement for this catarrh like medicine. It was a balm. So that's an image from my Patreon Journal Together kit. And then this is one of my little curious creatures, and I've added some old tape, and it says "No time may be lost." It's a journal card there. We have some paper raffia sticking out from this little fun, this is like a little paper folio for, like, this just tucks in here, so you don't actually have to undo that, but it's just some fun little papers for writing. You could also tear them out. Got some cute squirrel stationery, little fun stationaries, And then the back is a needlework pattern on both sides. So yeah, it's just like a little kind of folio. And here we have a little shabby dabby doodah bow and this little image here that I think maybe from Louisa Heinzel, can't recall. This is one of my images from my Patreon kit of my dandelion doll. I did a little series of dandelion dolls for a project I was doing with some fun yellow paper. This is a Release the Craft and Swatch card that I just thought went really nicely with that blend of colors. Some children's writing paper, more of that vintage catalog paper, more hand-dyed and sprayed papers, little stamp here, a little birdhouse up here. This is some grungy coffee-dyed paper and field guidebook page. These were some fun file folders that I found in an office supply. And then this is some spritzing and spraying and a little glue down from a children's book. I just love her. I think she's adorable. This is a vintage squirrel image from my collection from Patreon on some floral paper. This was an old postcard that I backed with envelope and added one of my little creatures here just for a fun journal card. Another of those beautiful digitals with the flowers, some cabbage dyed wallpaper paper, and this is a little tuck spot that's been collaged. This is a little lace coffee dyed journal card. This is a beautiful image from an art book on both sides, actually, all botanicals, and this is a little image from my kit of this beautiful text and a collage tag with a doll. Some gold paper from that paper catalog. This belly band is made from one of my images from my latest kit on Patreon. It's a fairy birthday wish card, and this is some of the images that are here are from that vintage paper catalog. It would show you like different usages for the paper that was inside, like making mailers or envelopes or like wine bottle bags. And then this is another little folio that I've made. It's tied closed with some jute. So you just untie that. And then inside again, we have some fun papers. So the back of it is this cool old sea packet image. And then we have some different papers for writing on. This is an old invoice from 1979. And we have some pattern paper and just some fun papers to play with. And that just goes like that, and you just tie this one up right through the loop here and just tie a little bow. It's just got some nice texture to it, and it slides right in there. This image is from my latest kit. It's these repeating patterns of birds and flowers. You could just write on the back. It's like a little greeting card that just tucks on here with a rusted paper clip. And this little collaged fabric squirrel lacy pocket. It's on a jelly print of the maple seeds that I was playing with in a recent video. This is from my latest kit, this little girl. This is a journal card from an original photograph. And some cabbage dyed paper. This image is from my latest kit, this leafy girl on this pretty paper. This is also from my kit. It's from a vintage postcard. Love's glowing light upon your new year, shine in every passing cloud with silver line. It's got some writing on the back. And this is a little sugar glider and some cabbage dyed paper. And some of that field guide, more hand dyed paper. This image is from my kit, and I made a pocket for this fun little journal card. It says, "Excuse me, here is your nose. I found it in my business." And that's a Tim Holtz snarky word quote snippet, and some more spraying. This is a little Release the Craftin' ticket with some a mushroom with little snails on it. This is from the Paper Cameo on Etsy. Cabbage dyed and a little emblem there on the sprayed page. Just some pretty paper. Both of these images, this celluloid collars and cuffs advertisement, as well as this little girl here, are both images from my latest kit. This is some hand-dyed paper and more field guide, cabbage dyed paper, a little ginkgo leaf cutout. That was from one of my older kits. These are some of my sweet pea journal cards that I've shrunk down and made a little pocket with. This was an image from my latest Patreon Journal Together kit. Coffee dyed paper. This is one of my jelly prints of maple seeds. This is a belly band I made from a safe ad from an old Popular Educator. This is an image from my latest kit. And this is a CD envelope. It says Imagining Things, Lessons from Books. And it has a book page inside with this man just kind of tinkering around. And I've done some label collaging here. And there's blue paper on back for writing space. Little cuckoo clock cutout there. More of the gold paper. This is from a children's book. If you talk to animals, Chief Dan George. If you talk to animals, they will talk with you, and you will know each other. If you do not talk to them, you will not know them, and what you do not know, you will fear. What one fears, one destroys. This is an image from one of my mycology kits and my digital kit, and then this is a book page forest image. That just clips up here with the rusty paper clip. And then you see here the pretty inside of the back of the cover. And then in this little pocket, we have this little journal card that I collaged. And that just pops in here. So then to close the journal, you just pop your journal back over here. And bring up this. Sorry, I'm going backwards. So this comes first. And you just bring up your outer flap as so. Oops, there we go. And that just flaps like that. And then you can put your belt back on your book. Like so. Bring your buckle around to the front. And then to tighten it, you can just kind of give it a little tug. Like I said, these come out. So it is stitched onto the buckle. I did stitch it on because I don't want it to come off. But one side isn't stitched, so it works like a traditional, belt buckle. So you just give it a tug and then bring the end back in, which I have stitched to give it a little more girth. So it's like doubled up, so it's not going to just come flying out all the time when you try to close up your book. So that is Olive. I will be listing this journal. If you're seeing this video, this journal is up in my shop. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great day.